everyone, and welcome to Talk Good Gamers match preview of Anderlecht against West Ham United in the Europa Conference League match day 3 of the group stages, and we'll be back with match day 4 discussing West Ham against Anderlecht next week. But Gonzo, have you got any thoughts on our opponents, please?
Yeah, they're not doing particularly well for them this season. They are a giant in terms of Belgian football, certainly, but they've gone through a slightly rough time of late. But I'm just looking at it and looking at their results. I don't want to be overly fooled by this. They have got some really good players, by the way, and it's very, very infrequent I'll go and look at an overseas team and recognise some of the players. I'm not talking about Barcelona and things like that. I'm talking about a team like this. So I started looking at them. I saw that they had obviously Vertonghen there will be known to a lot of people. Yes, may well be at the end of his career now. Sorry, yeah, but he's a very, very good player, and he was never particularly quick, by the way. And I think when you've got to always take that in mind. However, they've got a lad playing basically like a number 10 for him. I looked at it, oh my goodness, I'm surprised he's still there, and his name's Yuri Vasharam, and he was voted 2 years ago as one of the 10 most promising up and coming young players in world football, basically European football. Everyone's had a look at him. Arsenal almost bought him rather than Odegaard. They only bought Odegaard. We've of course been linked to him. Everybody's been linked with him. It'll probably be the next big money signing that goes from there. And he's like a little magician, basically. He's very, very, very skillful indeed. Certainly one of the best players in the league, and I'm sure will be a feature in the long term for the Belgium national team, which ain't an easy team to get into, by the way. So they've also got a couple of really fast wingers as well, Geo. So I don't want to really fall too far back into our comfort zone and think, these are going to be an easy walkover. They might not be.
As Gonzo said, they haven't taken too well to the domestic campaign so far. 14 points off leaders as they sit 10th place in the league with 13 points after 10 games. As Gonzo mentioned, you'll recognise Vertonghen. You'll also recognise Hoyt, who used to play for Southampton and the defence of Anderlecht. And also Fabio Silva, who is on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Big money signing for Wolves. Flopped at Wolves, and he's got 4 goals in 10 games so far over in Anderlecht. That's all I've got to say, really. I mean, their Europa Conference League group stages so far, they beat Silkeborg 1-0 and drew 0-0 against FCSB, one of 3 teams yet to concede a goal in the competition. So, as Gonzo said, a tougher test than the previous 2 games that we've had so far in this competition. But bear in mind, Gonzo, we played them this week and next week, so it's back-to-back games against Anderlecht. It feels a bit like a title decider, like a group winner decider, if you like, over the 2 legs, that whoever gets the 4 points, if one of us do get the 4 points, they'll probably go on to win the group stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I would, certainly agree with that. I think, look, whatever happens, even if we were to get an unfavourable result in this game, I still think we beat them in the next game, and that's with me saying don't want to take them lightly. I don't think we will. I don't think we're going to see wholesale changes. I'll tell you my team in a minute. Not sure it'll be David Moyes' team, but I still think David Moyes has shown that he takes these competitions seriously. I do not expect him to rock up, playing Ashby at right back and Batiste at centre back and all this stuff. That's not going to happen. He's going to David Moyes put out a really competitive senior team, basically. So, a group decider, not quite, but these 2 fixtures certainly will be, as you say, home and away. And I think certainly what will help us with the home leg is, I was just about to say we're only playing Fulham. I don't mean it like that, but it's a London game. We've got a home game and then another home game, so we haven't got to do a lot of travelling aside from flying. I'm assuming we're flying to Belgium. We might be rowing there or something, but apart from that bit of travel, it should sort of suit us the way the fixtures have fallen.
I think it's a group decider, these 2 games, especially if we were to get the 4 points. Bearing in mind they've already dropped 2 previously. We don't have to win one of the remaining 2 games to secure top spot. So I think if we can get 4 points out of these 2 games, also I want to aim for 6. But a point wouldn't be the worst result in the world on Thursday night. I think as long as we beat them at the London Stadium, get 4 points out of the 2 games, we'll be fine, especially given that if us and Anderlecht end up on the same points in the group, it goes to head-to-head rather than goal difference. And if we've got 4 points against them, that means we beat them on head-to-head.
Yeah.
So you've almost got that invisible point there for the remaining 2 games as well. So you can afford to draw one of the remaining 2. And that's assuming Anderlecht then go on to win both their remaining games. So, yeah, I think we're in a really good position going into this one. And we've got a really good chance to grab top spot. Or certainly get a really good hold of it. Now, before we talk about West Ham and the team we'd like to see, we've got to talk about the team that we'd like you to see. The Spitch app, who are sponsoring this video, is the fantasy football app, which is free to download, free to sign up, with plenty of free-to-play games, including the Hammers Chat game and also the Europa Conference League game on there as well. Now, there's no prizes up for grabs with the Conference League game, but it's the perfect way to get used to the app, the scoring system, and get your team ready. Get a few little pointers ahead of the weekend when I go ahead to Gonzo, who's now leading 4-2.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't mind. It just makes my comeback even more impressive.
I would say storming it. I might say my performance at the weekend. I wasn't actually kicking the ball. I just picked good players. I've gone full Roman Abramovich. So you've got to download the Spitch app. You've got to come and join us. See if you can beat Geo. You probably will. See if you can beat me.
Do you know, in the other fantasy league, I'm doing quite well. I'm in like the top 400,000 in the world, which doesn't sound much, but there's 10 million players, so I'm not doing too bad on that one. So I'm still getting to grips with the whole pick a new 11 every single week, and your budget's different, the point scoring is different. It's a really different game to your normal traditional fantasy league, and that's what makes it better. But you can download it by clicking the link in the description, get involved, and once you've done all that, make sure you go to the community, search for Hammers Chat. You'll see myself and Gonzo in cartoon form. Join that league and get involved and see if you can beat us as well as our fellow subscribers. Now, Gonzo, before I get your team, because I think Moyes will actually play a stronger team than what me and you want to see, but before we do that, given what we've just said, is there a little less pressure on us going into this one that we've had 2 wins from 2 in the group, we've just beaten Wolves in the Premier League a little bit and stuff?
Yeah, I think less pressure as we're not relying on this to make our mood buoyant, which I think we were. As almost the only thing you could cling to at the start of the Premier League was, okay, we're crap in the Premier League, but we're doing all right in Europe. It's actually an opportunity now to build momentum off the back of a league win rather than sort of repair some damage after a league performance, basically, which would be really good. I mean, if you can do that, if you can win in the league, win in Europe, then win your next league game. And then I know I'm preempting it because I'm talking about winning 4 games and we haven't played any of them yet. But I mean, if you could do that, beat Wolves, beat Anderlecht, beat Fulham, beat Anderlecht, then that'd be, and then you'd be really going on to something. So I think that's important from that point of view, morale of the club.
Right, let's talk about the team that we want to see. Areola in goal.
Definitely Areola in goal.
Give me a back four.
Particularly in light of Fabianski's poor performance the other
day. Yeah. Give me your back four.
Soufal at right back because he's going to need the practice because he ain't playing there against Fulham. This is me being manager.
Yeah.
Keira's going to play because I'm going to give Dawson a little rest because we've got a load of games. Busy October, as we all know. I'm going to give Ogbonna a game because I'm going to give Zuma a little rest because we've got a busy October. And I'm playing Emerson there because he didn't start, and I'd like to get him a start. He didn't start against Wolves.
One difference for myself. I agree with Emerson. I think that's a natural change there. And I agree with Ogbonna and Keira. I was quite reluctant to put Keira in, actually, because I feel like, A, he's had a lot of game time already for us and also has played during the international break with Germany. And B, because he's just played right back, and I want to see him right back against Fulham. Sure. So I almost don't like moving a player from one position to another one and back. I don't like it. I like continuity where a player can learn that role inside out. However, we've got options at right back now in players that need game time at right back. So you sort of take Keira out, but then you look at the centre backs and you think, well, do you then play Ogbonna next to Zuma or Dawson? And I agree with yourself. They both probably need a little bit more protection than what Keira does. But this is where this game's important, that if we do win this one, next Thursday, you can look at resting players like Thilo Kehrer and say, well, actually, we don't have to play you in this one. We can afford to drop 2 points and still be perfectly fine for the group. So let's get Kehrer out. But for this one, I would play him. But I would play Ben Johnson right back. I think he needs some minutes more than Soufal.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's ahead of the pecking order for me in regards. It sounds bad, but if Kehrer couldn't make the Fulham game, I'd probably prefer Johnson to play it right back than Vladimir Soufal. So I'd get Johnson in from the start on Thursday night.
I forgot about him, to be perfectly honest with you. So sorry, Glenn Johnston or whatever the manager.
I better say, Moyes forgot about it as well. It's calling him Ben Johnstone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So Moyes has forgotten a bit as well. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Ben Johnson for me. Right, moving into midfield. What you got?
I've got Flynn Downs.
Yeah, you've got to have Flynn Downs.
Of course you have. Do you hear that, Moisey? If you're watching this, which he never does. If you've got to have a bit of Flynn Downs in the team, and I'm playing him next to Declan Rice, because Declan's got to play in these games. He's our best player, and we also need to get through. And it was a big part of what David Moyes said last season, which is part of getting Declan to agree to stay for another year. Was he wants to continue his education play in European football. Declan don't want to be rested. Him alongside Flynn Downs for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a really solid partnership. We've already seen it in the European football. I think it's a vital Flynn Downs plays this game. Didn't play the previous game against Silkeborg for whatever reason. Don't know why. Still don't know why. But he has to play in this one. Get him minutes under his belt. Try and get in the 90 minutes as well. And I think Rice next to him just makes sense. And we've got to put out a strong team. We will put out a strong team, but this is what you're saying as well. You've got to put out a team that's good enough to win this game. A team that's probably going to win this game. And also Anderlecht, they'll be a good team in terms of keeping the ball on the deck and moving about. They'll have most of the better players in the Belgian league playing on Thursday night against us. So yes, their season's not going great so far. But you know something? There'll be Anderlecht fans looking at West Ham thinking 15th in the league. Easy. I mean, it doesn't demonstrate everything. The whole picture isn't there. So, yeah, Rice and Downs for me. Right. This is where there's a few decisions to be made, though, with this sort of attacking trio in the sense that you've got quite a few options. So, who are you going with?
This is a difficult one. It's your number 10, if you like. I'm going to stick with Paqueta, but I'm sort of going to give him a half. It's a weird one. I sort of want him to acclimatise to the Premier League on a team, but this is not that. This is not the Premier League. Also, it's possibly not going to be the team because he's not going to get used to playing with Scamacca in this one because Scamacca's not going to start in this one. So, but I do feel it's important that he sort of integrates. It feels important. I need a goal. I say I need a goal. He needs a goal. We need to see a goal from him or an assist or something really highlight realish. And I've been saying it for a little while now, but for that reason, I would start with him. I'd certainly start with Ben Rama for obvious reasons. I just don't think there's... I don't know. What's the deal with Cornet? Have you heard anything?
He's had to have a scan, but I don't know what the outcome of said scan is.
They didn't send you the results?
No, unfortunately not. I think it's because I called him Moisey in the video on Saturday night.
You can't do that. You can't do that. No. You should go straight to the doctor in future. Cut Moisey, Mr. Moyes Gaffer out of the equation. Go straight for the doctor. I'm going to go with Ben Rama.
He's the first name on the team sheet, though, for this game. Ben Rama is the first name on the team sheet.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we don't know about Cornet. So Cornet wouldn't play anyway. I'm actually going to start with, same again, 30 minutes. 45.
I'm about to say, what? You're going to be your first half sub? He doesn't even do them in the second half. Never mind the first
half. 30 minutes came from. 45 minutes for Bowen. To start with Bowen in this one, 45 minutes.
I've got Bowen as well, but no Fornals or Lanzini for you.
No, they can come on after 45 minutes.
But do you know that thing we use? We used it for Hugo, we used it for Elise, and we're sort of kind of using it for Flynn Downs as well now, which is, you ain't going to play him now. When you're going to play him?
Yeah.
Well, surely you've got to put that to Lanzini in games like this.
Well, I'm going to play him in this game, but Paqueta, I'm not sorry. Paqueta's more important at the moment to get him up and running. I know what Lanzini can do. Okay, Lanzini will
Not very much.
well, no, look, Lanzini will, between now and the end of the season, will have a couple of man in the match displays. He may even score a really important goal. All right, so I think Lanzini's got 2 or 3 good games in this season and a really important goal. We need much more than that from Paqueta. All right, Lanzini's a squad player now. Paqueta, we need to get up and running because Paqueta sort of, without putting too much pressure on him, needs to be our best player because as he's our most expensive player. He's the guy. He's our marquee signing, isn't he? He's so important, Gio. We just had a T-shirt made up for the Hammers Chat store. I'm just putting it out there. Hammers Chat store. Hammerschat.store. What is it? Hammerschatstore.com.
That's the one.
Heard it here first. Slick.
I also wouldn't play Lanzini, funnily enough, but again, it's like the previous game when I was writing out my team. I thought I feel obliged to put Lanzini in. I feel like I should be writing down Lanzini, but I thought I don't want to say it because he's bang out of form. We've played him in this competition and he's not particularly good in it. Saying that, he wasn't too bad in the previous game alongside Declan Rice. The pair of them were okay. They were just outnumbered at times in the middle of the pitch, but they weren't too bad. But I've gone Bowen on the right because you speak about confidence and momentum. Well, let's keep Jared Bowen's momentum going. Let's try and get him on the score sheet and keep that form going. Let's get him going. We need also. I want to win this game. I want goals in the first half. I want to see a goal in the first half, and Bowen's probably one of our most likely chances of doing that. He certainly increases the chances. Have you been finding your player ratings? Did you find a mark for Lanzini that says he was all right?
Yeah, I can confirm.
What did you give him? A 7?
So no. I gave him a 6. You gave him a 2.
Oh right, okay, yeah. You're not letting that go, are you?
Oh, it's gonna run and run. It's gonna run and run all season.
I can't. I'm gonna check mine now. What game was it? It was the last European game, wasn't it?
It was Silkeborg.
Silkeborg, Lanzini. Oh, gave him a 6. Well, that's all right. 6 is good enough. Because I flicked to the FCSB game, I gave him a 3. And I thought, well, wasn't that one? Was it?
So did I give him a 3? Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't.
So I'm going to go with Fornals in the 10. So I've got Bowen and Ben Ram on the sides.
Yeah, I'm
going to put Fornals in the 10. He's very quickly becoming a bit of a difficult player, actually. Fornals.
Oh, Fornals, right? Okay.
Like what to do with him? Because I agree with you. He's not a left winger, so you don't want to see him on the sides. So you can only see him in the middle. But that's Paqueta's role, and when you spend that much money on a player, it's almost difficult to start someone else ahead of that player. You almost have to play him just because of his price tag. Now, that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, but there's pressure on the manager to get Paqueta up and firing, get him justifying the outlay for the club. And so Paqueta's going to have to play majority of the games in the middle, which means where's Fornals going to go? So I'd put him in the 10 for this one because, well, I want to see Ben Ram on the left. I don't want to see Fornals on the left. But at the same time, I feel like he needs game time because whether we like it or not, he's possibly going to start against Fulham on the left wing. And
yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. He is, which is why I thought you've got to give him some time. It's a good thing to start him actually, because hopefully he just looks really knackered
well, I actually hope he performs really well in that number 10 role to say, and it's almost like it says to Moyes that that's his best position. But
Moyes would drop Paqueta. That's what Moyes would do. He
would still just shoehorn Fornals out on the left. We all know it's what's going to happen. That's why the Cornet being fit enough for Sunday is pretty vital because we know what the team's going to be on Sunday already. We know the whole team. It'll be the same. It'll be unchanged, bar Fornals for Cornet if Cornet is unavailable to play. I'm very confident that will be the starting team against Fulham.
So I agree.
And Moyes will work backwards a little bit with this game and say, right, that's my Fulham team. So if I take out these players and put these ones in, now I've got my Anderlecht team. And up front, Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. Needs a game, doesn't he?
I want to see a reaction from him. This is the first time he's no longer the number 1 striker at West Ham.
Yeah, maybe Aston Villa, maybe, but I know what you mean. He's been, yes, he was dropped. He was absolutely dropped to the bench, and rightly so. And it's good to say rightly so. Not that he's done anything wrong, but you've got to do this. Go and spend big money on a striker. You expect him to play ahead of the guy that's been filling in that position for the past 2 seasons. That's absolutely right. But Antonio, you could see was motivated. You could see he was hungry when he came on. Was it 65th minute, something like that, against Wolves? And that was important. He wanted the challenge. He wanted the hustle and the bustle. So I think this is really, really good. We know he can do all that. I'll tell you what Antonio needs as much as anything is a bit of quality now, actually. A really good finish or something. Not just beast mode Antonio. We know he can do that. He probably will do that. If he pulls out, if Vertonghen plays on the left of a 3, which may well happen when Anderlecht play, then I know it's maybe not Antonio's favourite thing to do, but maybe just pulls to that side a little bit. I think you can give him an absolute torrid time. But it's important if he is on that side, that he cuts in, he's going to be shooting with his left foot, that he just displays some good finishing technique. And I think that would be really good. And put some pressure on Scamacca. The competition for places is good.
Yeah, I don't think he was dropped on Sunday. I think Moyes played Scamacca because Antonio had that international duty, the late return.
Yeah, good
point.
But
because of the performance of Scamacca, I think he's almost nicked the shirt. I think there probably wasn't really much between them going into the Wolves game. I think they were pretty much neck and neck, but because of that international thing, it gave Scamacca the start. But now Scamacca starts against Fulham because of what he'd done last weekend, and I think that's now put the pressure on Antonio here, which was on some last season in the group stage. Some Thursdays he wouldn't play because he'd be on the bench or whatever, and Yarmolenko would be the striker because he was the man. You're the man. We're looking after you. We need you scoring in the Premier League. You're the important guy up front. Well, now he's now in the competition. He's playing on Thursday night where he used to be rested.
He is now Yarmolenko.
But the difference is, though, Yarmolenko had... I almost forgot the players we had, but he'd have like Vlasic and that behind him. Whereas Antonio, look at my team and your team. Your team, you've got Paqueta, Bowen, and Benrahma behind him. That's a good supply line. Even mine doesn't have Paqueta. Got Fornals in there, which was the 3 that was supplying Antonio last season. So the difference between our team this group stage now compared to last season was we are putting in the players that were first team last season. They are now sort of like the rotated players for the Conference League this season. So this is where we're seeing squad depth coming through. Yep. We are now seeing the benefits of it. So I want to see a big performance from Antonio. I want him to give Moyes a headache, which is you thought you had your team for Fulham sorted. You don't, because bang, there's a brace for me. Try and not start me on Sunday against Fulham. I'd like to think Moyes would still start Scamacca, but it gives a dilemma and it keeps the pressure up on Scamacca. Last thing you want is him getting comfortable because Antonio's misfiving on a Thursday night. So, this is good. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Confident for this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Why shouldn't we be? Quite right too. But not complacent. We don't want to be complacent. It's not us. We just watch the game and talk about it. It's for the players not to be complacent because they may well find that they're a little bit more technical, a little bit more fizzy than they might expect. They're a good passing team, and in attack they're quick. They've got some decent attackers, but they do have a defence which can be got at. They've shipped 4 goals on a couple of occasions this season, quite possibly. So yes, but confident I am.
Yeah, I'm confident as well. I mean, regardless of whether he does my team, your team, well, he won't do either. But the team he might as well put out will probably be stronger than what we're looking for. I don't think we're too far off, actually. But regardless, even if you put Lanzini in for Downs, which I suspect he might do, I still expect us to have the better team on Thursday night. And I want to see that. I want to be able to tell we are the better side. And so far in the European games, it's been almost boring to some extent. Not the playoff ones, they were different, but the group stage ones, we've just sort of done enough to win the games, and that's enough kind of thing. It hasn't been the best performances. So I'd like to see a bit of an improvement in terms of not necessarily swagger, but the comfortableness of the victory, if you like. Yeah. I'd like to come away thinking that was easy from start to finish. We were in full control. We've had more possession. We've had created X amount of chances. He's scored. Happy days. I just want almost the perfect 90 minutes on Thursday. I just want to see us, like you said, build on the win against Wolves. A lot of these players didn't play in that game, but they'll feel the impact of it on the training ground on Monday morning when they went in, and it was just a better place to be than it was the previous Monday. We played on Saturday, which gives us that extra day that we'll usually have in between European games there. It's an early kickoff, 5:45, which means that they can fly home a little bit earlier than they would have done, which is something Moyes half complained about a couple of weeks ago with it being a later kickoff. He was grumbling they didn't get in till early hours of the morning on Friday, then they've got training, so on and so forth. So there's almost no excuses really for not winning this game. We have to win this game. Simple as that as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, a point is not the worst result, but we can't go into the game thinking that. We've got to go in thinking we need a win. We have to win, like you said. Go into the Fulham game with 2 wins out of 2 after the international break. And if you can get a win against Fulham, suddenly it just starts looking a little bit rosier, doesn't it? And we start to feel a little bit better. So can I get any final words from yourself? Plus your score prediction, please.
Sure. I just want to say about Flynn Downs, actually.
Yes.
I think it was widely agreed that Flynn Downs was Noble's successor in the squad, whichever way you want to cut it. You know what you might say. Coventry was Alex Crowell, and Downs is Mark Noble in that sense. It's important that Flynn Downs plays in this because Mark Noble was having more game time than Flynn Downs is getting. And what you can't do is get to later on in the season and then complain about fatigue levels if you haven't been playing it. Because I've noticed that a couple of people have said about the Alex Crowell stuff that we've alluded to before, where he was upset and he was demotivated and saying, we seem to be seeing the same thing with Flynn Downs. Well, we can't, because actually that's not his place. It's Coventry that is Alex Crowell. If you were going to be make an accurate comparison, it would be of him actually upsetting Mark Noble and Alex Crowell, and that wasn't happening. You can't rely on these 2 midfielders to get you through. So I think it's really important that he plays, because this is the type of game. Last season, with already 2 wins on the board in the group stage, Mark Noble would have started this game and would have played in this game. So I think it's really important that Flynn Downs does.
Just to interrupt, give me a prediction. Do you think he will start Flynn Downs?
No.
Me neither. I think it'll be Rice and Lanzini in the middle.
Look, I'll deal with it all. If it happens, it happens, and if it turns sour, we'll deal with it. We're on a good vibe at West Ham at the moment. I want it to continue, but I suspect not. I really hope he does that. I'd love us both to be wrong on that. I think we can win this 3-1.
I mean, yeah, we can. We can win 3-1.
We can. Many things are possible.
Might not be 3-1, but certainly possible. No. It's like that. That reminds me of when I was at school and someone asked. It was like when you first start the new year, you're in your new subject. So I had a teacher for the very first time, and someone said, "Oh, can I go to the toilet?" He said, "I don't know. Can you?" And they were like, "What does that mean?" So they sat there, and he was like, and they're like, "So, can I go to the toilet?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. Can you go to the toilet?" And everybody was a bit like, he's like, "Oh, sorry, you mean, may I go to the toilet?" He said, "Yes, on you go." And then you're like, it's just
I saw it in Greg's a couple of years ago. So we digressed slightly before we end the show. And you've got this whole thing where people now sit in their shop, they say, "Can I get? Can I?" They say, "Please, can I have? Please, can I get?" And somebody, it was yeah, can I get a flat American coffee or whatever? I don't know what a flat American. Surely it can't be flat. There's not much drink in a flat coffee. Anyway, so they say, whatever. Can I get a coffee? And the person said, no, I'm gonna have to get it for you. Superb, absolutely superb. You're not allowed behind the counter, I'm afraid, sir. But really, they were really deadpan when they said it. But now there's someone that's had enough. There's someone who's doing a 10-hour day has just had enough of people saying, "Can I get a sausage roll?" No, I'll shove it up your. Anyway, we should go.
Yeah, listen, I want to say a big game. It's not the biggest game, and the pressure's off a little bit because we've had 2 wins from 2 so far. But if we can get 4 points in the next 2 games, what it does mean is that when we do play Silkeborg, when we do play FCSB again, we don't have to play Rice, we don't have to play Thilo Kehrer, we can start rotating, we can start resting, and actually it would be nice on match day 6 again if we were able to bring in some of the younger players that possibly will only play 1 game for us this season, but it'll be that game.
Or in their career.
There's plenty of them, isn't there? Flynn Downs might be one of them at this rate. I'm joking. We won a game. We're feeling positive, which means you get jokes. now people will be hoping we lose again. Anyway, yes, I'm feeling confident, actually. We will have a strong team out there. Moyes will pick a strong team. We'll have a good team, one that's better than theirs, and I think we'll see that. So I'm going to say Anderlecht 0, West Ham 2. I'm going to say a comfortable 2-0 victory for the Hammers. So there you go. It's a 5:45 kickoff, which means we will be live at 4:40 on Thursday. It's an early start. So if you're free at 4:40 and you fancy joining us, please do pop back to the channel for our build-up show where we'll be taking a look at both teams and we'll be compiling a little bit, hopefully winning one of you guys some money and looking ahead to the game together. Charlie will be here doing the watch along for the duration of the 19 minutes, and then we'll be back with the review straight after full time. Hammers Chat is your one-stop shop for everything you need on a match day, with your preview, your watch along, your build up, and your review. Everything you need, we got it. But if you've enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel. Myself and Gonzo, catch you in a bit.